This is a WTVY News 4 special report.
Breaking news tonight out of Coffee County. 2 people are missing after their vehicle swept off the road by floodwaters. It happened on Highway 107 near the Coffee-Dale County line. The Coffee County Sheriff tells us 6 people were in the vehicle when it was overrun by floodwaters. A man was able to save 3 of his children, but his wife and their 5-year-old daughter were swept away. Helicopters have been called in to assist with the search. Highway 107 is on the list of road closures provided by the Coffee County EMA earlier today. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for this WTVY special report. I'm Devin Sellers. A week's worth of heavy rain has left several Wiregrass communities underwater tonight, and for others, it's just a matter of time. Significant flooding has rocked communities in Coffee and Houston counties, and in places like Geneva County and the northern Panhandle, people are preparing for a major flooding event. Here's how we got to this point. A wet Christmas week began with rain on Monday, and in some parts of the Wiregrass, the rain did not stop until last night. Things intensified Wednesday night into Thursday morning when some areas saw as much as a foot of rain. WTVY meteorologist Lauren Linehan says these storms have continued to build out of the Gulf, one after the other, giving no relief to the rain-affected areas. Alabama Governor Robert Bentley wasting no time this morning declaring a state of emergency for all Alabama counties. In a statement, Bentley says, quote, "By issuing a state of emergency, I have directed all state agencies to take necessary actions to be prepared to respond to the anticipated flooding across Alabama. We will actively monitor the flooding and are prepared to respond to any requests for assistance," end quote. This declaration is important because it sets the stage for potential federal assistance to the areas most affected by flooding. Several roads closed across the Wiregrass tonight, including Highway 231 in Dale County near Highway 123. This is a picture we received from Dale County School Superintendent Donnie Bynum. Shows water across Highway 231 as the P River has overflowed its banks there as well. The highway is closed in both directions, and state troopers have given no indication when it will reopen. And tonight, Elba is bracing for one of its worst floods in recorded history. By midday tomorrow, the P River is expected to crest at 43.5 feet, which will match the level of the 1929 flood. Mike Gerspan has been in Elba for most of the day. He joins us live from our Enterprise State Community College newsroom. Mike, as we reported, Governor Bentley did issue that state of emergency for all counties for flooding this afternoon. I imagine Coffee County is covered in that declaration.
Well, Devin, as you just mentioned, the 1929 flood, that's the benchmark of floods, not only in the Wiregrass, but throughout the entire Southeast almost 90 years ago. So the waters, very good chance, will exceed that almost 100-year flood we're talking about, basically, Devin. Now, throughout the day, water levels continue to rise at the Three River Bridge on Highway 84. An hour ago, in fact, Elba Mayor Mickey Murdoch signed an emergency declaration in regard to the impending disaster. Now, this will help in a request for FEMA assistance in regard to the actual cleanup.
Elba residents say they've never seen the P River rage like this before. As of 11 o'clock Christmas morning, the water reading was 38.65 feet. By Saturday afternoon, it is expected to crest at 43.5 feet, matching an 86-year-old record. The downtown district is expected to be spared, but for those in low-lying areas like wheelchair-bound Elizabeth Hutchinson, getting out to a shelter will be a challenge.
Yeah, we lost our home in 90. It's just rough. But like I say, God's going to take care of us. I didn't have God in my life then, but we do now.
Are you getting ready to evacuate?
Well, yeah.
Behind me, you can see the water lapping to the foundation of the Edwards home here off of Old Sampson Road. The family is quickly starting to evacuate because if they wait too long, they expect the high water to be over the roof of that structure.
We left yesterday and it was probably ankle deep. We got back over here this morning now and it's probably chest deep out here, Mike. And Lord, I just don't know if it just don't hurry up and start receding or cresting, it's just going to be real bad again.
With time of the essence, saving valuables from the advancing water is difficult. This Christmas, fate is placed in God's hands.
At this time, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, along with the Department of Transportation, discussing
whether or not to shut the large gates of this new levee, to shut it in order to keep the floodwaters from converging upon the city.
We have a good levee this time, and so we're not planning on any real large emergencies. We have evacuated a few low-lying levels, but it's been a voluntary evacuation.
As of now, EOC officials believe about 50 Elba families have evacuated from their homes. Elba Elementary School has been designated as a shelter.
And Devin, you just saw in that video before that there are volunteers that are putting together those sandbags. That's taking place at the Elba City Road Department. And in fact, just a few hours ago, they have issued more than 600 sandbags being requested by not only residents of that area, but businesses as well in other public buildings. Alabama Department of Transportation monitors the water level, obviously, on the Pre-River Bridge on Highway 84. Now, if it crosses the structure, most likely the highway is expected to be closed, and the levee gates, we just saw the levee gates, folks, in that video, they will be shut. First time that this has ever taken place. The levee, of course, the new levee was installed about 10 years ago. Also, one point I almost forgot. Once again, as we harped on last night, emergency officials say if you don't have any business driving in the affected areas, please don't, because you're only hindering emergency vehicles as well as hindering these folks that are trying to get out of harm's way. Live on our Enterprise State Community College newsroom, Mike Erspan, WTVY, your hometown news leader right now.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike, for that report. If and when the Pea River Bridge on Highway 84 is closed due to floodwaters, News 4 will provide information on alternative east-west routes in the western Wiregrass. So stay tuned to your hometown news leader as well as WTVY.com and our Facebook page. The city of Geneva lies at the junction of the Pea and Choctawhatchee rivers. It's directly in the path of the floodwaters from Elba. As of 9 o'clock this morning, high water covers the boat ramp and several structures at Robert Fowler Park. The reading was 23 feet, 5 feet above flood stage. Unfortunately, water levels are expected to rise over the next 48 hours. It's expected to crest Monday morning at 32.7 feet, causing flooding in those low-lying areas.
Well, we have some houses that are in low-lying areas that are affected. Our storm drainage project that we had last year has helped alleviate a lot of that problem.
Mayor Carter says his road crews will monitor the high water but does not anticipate any serious issues at this time. In Houston County, the Chattahoochee River is out of its banks as well, flooding homes in Columbia. News 4's Ken Curtis spent the day along the river. We continue our team coverage with a look at that rising water.
This may look like a river, but it's not. It's actually a road now submerged underwater.
Everybody that was on River Road that wanted to come out has come out. Most all the trailers have been pulled out.
Mayor Lanny Lancaster and Police Chief Shad Floyd using a military vehicle to show me the extent of the flooding. And it is extensive.
They say some more water's coming. It's not supposed to crest until sometime this evening.
And it may be a few more days before the raging Chattahoochee recedes. We heard Mayor Lancaster say everybody who wanted to come out did. But he and Floyd among those who went into this home and brought this man out. The man's son wanted his dad on higher ground. It takes only one look at the rising water to know why.
We still have to look after them no matter what.
This Christmas going to the dogs for those who had to pack up and leave, though everybody is happy to just be safe.
I do it for the excitement, but my primary focus is the safety of the people. And no matter what, whatever it takes, that's what we do.
You're like Water Patrol, like the Coast Guard of Columbia.
Well, my mom had the bright idea to name me after a fish, so here I am.
Just a couple of miles away is the Westside River Overlook. This would normally be dry ground. Today, it was a lake. We ran across these guys going in to check out a family cabin using a boat. Back on the river, Lancaster, Floyd, and our friends continue to survey the river. Perhaps the mayor putting it best in perspective.
For the people that are in the water, it's a big deal. For the people of us standing up here on the dry ground, it ain't such a big deal, but it really is.
The toll taken by the Great Flood of 15 is already significant. Now people are hoping it won't get worse.
As long as the people are safe, that's all that matters.
Since yesterday morning, not getting to enjoy Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with their loved ones, knowing that their first priority in their job is to keep people safe. So they've been working around the river and continue to do so to make sure there's as good an outcome as possible. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Ken. Now, the people we did speak with today said this was the worst flood since at least 1994 and perhaps before then. News 4 took a ride around Columbia with Houston County EMA Director Steve Carlisle today. That as he toured the flooding in Columbia.
Well, right now I was over in the Gordon area, and the water has completely covered the boat landing, but none of the houses are flooded at this time. And here we are in Columbia, and the water has completely covered the River Road access area coming into the boat landings here. And we're on top of the bridge crossing over into Georgia at this time over the Chattahoochee River, and we'll be able to get some footage of how fast this river is flowing, and also let you see the back creek. This is the River Road area that we're going to look at coming into the boat landing. We're on top of the Chattahoochee River right now, and if you look over your right shoulder, you'll see the backside of the houses along the river between River Road and the Chattahoochee River.
Carlisle said that he hopes the water in Columbia will begin receding by Sunday or Monday. The small Houston County town of Gordon is also having its share of problems. However, the flooding there is nowhere near as bad as it is in Columbia. We visited the boat ramp today. The road to it is closed, but we were allowed in to show you what's going on with the water. Now, this home not yet underwater, but it is threatened. The river only feet from the home, but people in Gordon say they're somewhat confident they'll be spared.
We're still in good shape right now, most of the neighbors. But it's on the south end, it's coming up out of that creek, backing up on that low land.
The water in Gordon is still rising. It may be tomorrow before we know the extent of the flooding there. We've gone straight from heavy rain to unseasonably warm weather in the past 24 hours. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan joins us now. And Lauren, it certainly does not feel much like Christmas today.
It doesn't feel much like Christmas at all, Devin. Coupled with the record-breaking temperatures and the intense rainfall we saw yesterday, it just feels more like late spring, actually. And this synoptic setup we're seeing as well just definitely does not look like late December. So this is a radar loop over the past 36 hours. So this is really when we've been seeing, especially yesterday, early on into Christmas Eve, where we saw those thunderstorms just continue to propagate on top of each other. This training effect where they lined up like train cars. And that's where we saw the big issues with the flooding, especially in Coffee County going into Pike and Barber County as well. So you can see it just continued to go on and on and on. But right now, most of the rain we're seeing is in the central and northern part of the state. We have a front that is stalled out further to our north and west, and that's not allowing any cold air to come down and relieve us at all. So what we're seeing instead is the southerly flow out of the Gulf that just continues to pump in this tropical moisture, which is making a prime environment for these showers and thunderstorms we've been seeing since yesterday, even on into Monday. But actually, there is a tornado warning currently in effect, not for our area, but if you do have any family and friends who are just southwest of Birmingham, a tornado has been confirmed on radar there. We've been watching this same cell for the past 30 minutes. This tornado warning expires this evening at 5:45 Central Time, but it is just southwest of Birmingham, currently moving northeast at 20 miles per hour. So if you know anyone in the Birmingham area, perhaps visiting family for Christmas, please tell them to take cover at this time. But again, this is all part of that same system system we were seeing yesterday that was pumping in moisture even gave us a couple of tornado warnings as well. But you can see here where these winds are rotating. So this has just been a really bad situation for us, and unfortunately falling on the holiday season. But look here in our area, you can see most of those showers are further to the north and west, staying clear of us. So really beginning to see some sunshine later this afternoon, but of course now the sun has set. But you can see just over the past day since going into Monday actually as well. Since Monday, we have seen over a foot of rainfall in some spots. You can see again where that training setup was, where we're seeing these heavy rain bands line up like those train cars. So you can see this distinct band of heavy rain really hit inland towards the northern parts of our viewing area. So this is what is causing all these problems we've been seeing, and still seeing that persistent southerly flow out of the Gulf continuing to give us all of that moisture, and that's been enhancing this unstable environment we've been seeing all the way since Monday. Now in the morning, we could possibly see some areas of patchy fog because it's going to be so humid, but our rain threat, at least for our area, is out of the way going into the weekend. So you can say we stay clear through the overnight, but mostly cloudy skies. We're going to see the clouds stick around, could see some areas of fog in the morning. Now going into Saturday, we could possibly see some more spots of sunshine, clear skies going into Saturday overnight, but going to see those clouds build back in on Sunday. Our best chance for a shower within the next 48 hours would be going later into Sunday afternoon. And look here, you can see right out west, we've got our next storm system approaching that would be coming in. Right now it's looking like around Monday morning, but we'll continue to fine tune that over the weekend. But again, these warm temperatures, they're going to be here to stay. We could possibly see more record-breaking temperatures tomorrow. So widespread lower 70s in the 5 o'clock hour, 75 in Enterprise, 76 up in Troy, and 76 in Mariana currently. So let's look at our almanac for here today in Dothan. Our high today was 82 degrees. We broke our record high, set back in the 60s. So we beat that by about 4 degrees. And our low this morning was very mild as well, indicative of all the cloud cover. When you wake up in the morning, just a tiny bit cooler in the mid 60s, but that's well above average for this time of the year. Our low should be 39 degrees based on the average. Tomorrow, going to see temperatures rise once again to the lower 80s. Let's take a check on our 7-day forecast. Good news is we're going to mainly dry out for the weekend. So hopefully some of that standing water can evaporate. But unfortunately, we're going to see some more rain moving into our area Monday. Brief little reprieve on Tuesday, and then more showers and thunderstorms for Wednesday and New Year's Eve. Finally looks like we could see a shot of cooler, drier air for the new year. But our concern is going into Monday. It's not looking like we're going to see as much rainfall, but even a little rainfall with as saturated as we've seen things is
Anything
concerning.
Severe?
We're still fine-tuning that. It looks like we possibly could see some stronger storms on Monday, but nowhere near as strong as we'd be seeing further to the west.
Okay. Thanks so much for that update. And we're obviously going to be monitoring the situation all week long. That is going to wrap things up for us for this WTVY special report. Now, for the latest flooding and weather information, you can always visit our website, WTVY.com, or go to our Facebook page. And for the latest updates, make sure you join Lauren and Amanda Dansby for News 4 This Morning tomorrow at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And for everyone here at WTVY, we do wish you a very safe and a very merry rest of your Christmas day. And we're going to return you now to your regularly scheduled programming already in progress.
This has been a WTVY News 4 special report. Stay tuned to News 4 for additional updates and information.